Star Fox 64. This game is considered by most people to be one of the most popular and best games that come out of the N64. Some people have even gone as far as to say that this is one of the greatest video games of all time. But does it really deserve that title? Well, let's take a look. We experience the game through the perspective of the main protagonist, Fox McCloud. He leads a mercenary group called Star Fox, which consists of the team members Falco, Slippy, and Peppy. The game takes place during the Lylat War, where the Star Fox crew go on a series of battles in different locations, all in search of the game's main villain, Andross. The backstory that you get at the beginning of the game does a great job of setting up the premise for the entire game. It gives you just enough information to make you care about the characters and the story, but it doesn't overload you so you get bored of it. Aside from that though, there really isn't too much in terms of story development. The majority of it relies on character interactions. All the characters are pretty cool and unique in their own way, and it's fun to see them interact with each other throughout the game. There are also a couple of cool side characters you can come across depending what path you take. One of those characters is named Bill, who is a friend of Fox's back in the Academy days. The other is Cad, who worked with Falco on another flight team in the past. Both characters show up in different missions throughout the game, but they never appear together. Part of me wishes that they were in the game a little bit more and that they would show up on the final level depending what path you took. I do like how they will pop up in the end credits when you're leaving Venom. If you look in the top right corner, you'll notice that Cat's ship is flying right next to Falco. And if you look here, you'll notice that Bill is flying right next to Fox, with one of his troops being right next to Peppy as well. These are small details and nice little Easter eggs, but I think it's cool to see that the people that helped you along the journey also participate in the ending. The story is very simple, but the characters make it enjoyable. Now let's take a look at the gameplay. The thing that this game is remembered for best is its gameplay. The controls in this game are very tight and very smooth, and the reaction time is very well done. And Nintendo made this a high priority after the flaws with their first game, Star Fox, for the Super Nintendo. Now, the original Star Fox game was not bad, but it had some problems with frame rate and with controls. What would happen with the frame rate is that the game would glitch out at random times, and as a result, people would crash into random stuff. Also, the Super Nintendo controller was designed for more 2D style games. And as a result, it would cause things to happen as a result of bad luck rather than bad skill. However, thanks to the joystick on the Nintendo 64 controller, it made 3D navigation a lot more possible and easier. As a result, the controls are a lot more tight and a lot more smooth now. This comes in very handy when you have to go to all range mode in certain levels. What all range mode is, it's a mode where you basically get to utilize the entire map for your use instead of just going on a linear course as you do throughout many other levels in the game. Some people are not a big fan of this game mode, but I personally like it because it's a nice change of pace from the linear stuff you normally do, and it gives you an opportunity to use the whole map to your advantage. Along with your main ship, the Arwing, you get two other vehicles that you use throughout the game. The Landmaster tank, and the Blue Marine submarine. Now on paper, these both sound like fantastic ideas. Being able to go through a battlefield as a tank or go through the water as a submarine, both sound pretty promising. However, the execution of these ideas didn't work out so well. One of the big problems with the Landmaster is that the controls are pretty stiff and it's hard to move around with that vehicle. On top of that, since you're confined to the ground, you don't have as much movement capability as you do with the Arwing. What this results in is you basically getting hit over and over again simply because you have nowhere to go and you have no way to avoid it. Now for the Blue Marine, you only use that for one mission, and that's the Aquas mission. One of the things that bothers a lot of people about this mission is the fact that it's very dark. This didn't bother me that much because I get what they were going for. The deeper underwater you get, the darker it is, so that makes sense. What I do have a problem with though is the fact that the Blue Marine moves so slow. When the rest of the game is based on fast-paced movement and fast-paced combat, it feels very off when you come to something like this. If the combat had been more constant and more intense, I think I could overlook the fact that I'm moving slowly. But there are just too many moments in the level where there's not a lot of action and I'm reminded of how slowly I'm actually moving. Fortunately, the vast majority of the game is not like this, so it doesn't kill the game for me. Navigation from planet to planet is also very fun and interesting. Depending on what secrets you find on certain levels, or if you complete specific mission objectives, will determine what planet you go to next as you campaign through the game. This gives the game plenty of replay value and allows you to have a different experience every time you play it. Which is a really good thing because it actually doesn't take that long to beat this game. It usually takes a little over an hour to complete one run through this game, so it's really good that you have a different variety of paths to take. The multiplayer hasn't aged that well compared to modern games, but it was still a lot of fun, especially at that time. Battling with your friends and getting in some big dogfights was a lot of fun back then. Overall, even though this game does have its flaws and the multiplayer hasn't aged that well, this is still a very fun game to play, even by today's standards. The music in this game mainly revolves around the levels that you are playing on. Almost every single level in this game has its own theme song and it's paired perfectly. This really helps make each level feel unique and really enhances the experience as a whole. The music in this game ranges from big orchestra music to some more softer synth music. There are a couple of songs that get used for more than one level, but they are few and far between. Even with that though, all the songs are very enjoyable and very pleasant to listen to, and they match perfectly with the levels they are set on. Star Fox is a game that has truly stood the test of time, and it's easy to see why. The gameplay is fun and is very engaging. The level design is very superb and will be influential for many other games in the future. And Nintendo continues to show that they can do a great soundtrack. While certain aspects of this game are flawed and a bit dated, I still enjoy playing it and I recommend you look into it as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think of this game, and give it a thumbs up if you like the video. If you would like to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell to get notifications. Also, if you would like to help the channel grow, you can donate through PayPal or become a patron on Patreon. Links to both will be in the description below. Again, thank you guys so much. Have a nice day.